Greeting friends, my name is Kyle Hermans. I'm the co-founder and CEO of BCRGS, and I just want to honor and celebrate you for being here because there must be something about the idea of the power of purpose and your path to purpose that must be resonating with you. So wherever you are at in your life journey, if you have a purpose and you're looking to reestablish a connection to it, whether you don't even know the concept of purpose and you're looking to find out what yours is, this exercise is for you. So what this is all about is about directing you through a series of facilitated canvases for you to start to uncover what drives you inside, what a big purpose might be for you to live into, and how do you start to translate that into a phrase or a statement or a message to yourself to remind you and to guide you on your life's journey. So let's dive right in. 2 very simple canvases, and they'll be numbered across 8 different points, and you'll see these on 2 different pages. So at the very top of this canvas here, you'll see some instructions. And just to guide you and refresh you after you've downloaded this and you want to use this for yourself, but you can always come back to this video and I will just give you a basic walkthrough to empower you to be able to self-facilitate yourself to a breakthrough. What we would also love to hear, because purpose is one of our most favorite pieces of work to do with individuals and leaders and of course large organizations all around the world, that if you'd like to check in or submit it to us, get some feedback or just share it, because we love to, what we say, ring the courage bell for anybody that is diving deep into their purpose and looking to bring impact to the world through bringing the best parts of who they are forward into the world. So let's dive into this. Canvas 1. So you're going to start with a wonderful exercise here called timeline. You'll see here on the very first line above is that there's highs and there's lows. What that means is think about your life, and you can go back as early as you want. When I do these exercises for myself, and I like to revisit this exercise, I always find there's new learnings every time I do it personally, is that I tend to start when I'm a little younger. I started my last exercise when I was around sort of my 5 to 8 years old, and I was just thinking about my life journey and some signature moments. Some folk just look at it for their corporate journey in terms of their career journey. Some people like to use this for their relationship journey. But if it's about your specific life, go back as far back as you would like to, where the first real significant moments that started to define who you are started to show up. And the way this works is what you're looking for are highlights in your life, big important moments, and things that you're very excited about, things that have helped shape who you are, but things that have also advanced. These are things that you're excited about. You had a big breakthrough, you had a big win, you overcame a really big obstacle, you overcame a challenge, but really in an optimistic, positive place. The highlights, big highs. Now below this line are the lowlights. Now those are the things for all of us. We all have our stories. We've all gone through some difficult, tough, hard times, some traumatic events. Now each of these, whether you had your highs or your lows, are things that have created who you are. You are the sum of all of those experiences. And in each experience, it's loaded with assets for you on who you are. You've learned lessons. You've overcome really difficult things. You've discovered parts of yourself. Like, let's just say you've overcome a very tough event. Did you discover determination and resilience or courage in those events? With your highlights, it was showing maybe something around, like if you got to overcome some obstacles but really win something for yourself. Was it about persistence? Was it about, again, determination? Was it about, leveling up to deliver new types of results? Inside of each moment, there are some attributes there, some value there for you, that you realize that you did this. You got to do this. You got to make those things happen. And they sit within us. The biggest thing that we've found on a path to purpose is that very few people really take time to reflect on who they are or reflect on what they've accomplished, whether in the tough stuff or the good stuff. They take very little time to understand what's actually living inside of them and what's helped shaping a lot of their decisions as they live life forward. So this exercise, write down some of the highlights of your life, write down some of the lowlights of your life, and write down what you've learned in those moments. What was the value that you extracted from that? So you'll see here the circles, name the event, write down the learning, and then you'll see here on the far right hand side, you'll see themes. As you look at these patterns, highs and lows, you'll notice that there are some very strong patterns that will come out for you. Keywords, statements, phrases, things that have really come out. When I got to discover my personal purpose using this example as well, this was where the concept of courage really started to shine through. And when I got to do this many years ago, that really helped shape the fact that we've gone on to build a company and go make global impact. But it started just by intrinsically going inside and saying, what drives me and what motivates me? And what have I learned through all the things I've been through in my life? So I do highly recommend that, you'd say, pause this video if you're going to do this exercise one by one, and then go through this, carve some time, have no distractions. You probably want about 30 minutes or more for this exercise. I kept my exercise open. I would work on it. I worked on it over a week. I dabbled in it a few times a day, and just letting the question sink in, and then I would just fill it in while it was next to me, just things that I started to remember. Some people I know go through this very quickly, and some like to take a little longer. So it's really at your pace, but do create the conditions for you to be able to spend some time with it. It's incredible what you remember about your life, but it's also incredible what you discover about yourself. So that's the canvas 1. We then move on to canvas 2. There's 3 additional questions here on the top lines, and then there's some ways to start synthesizing all of the information that you've gathered about yourself on the bottom 3 blocks. So the top 3 blocks over here, you'll see the words purpose, value, and differentiators. So bringing the themes in from the timeline canvas, ask yourself these 3 questions. Where, when, with whom, and what type of experiences am I having that really give me a sense of meaning and purpose? Where are you? What are you doing? What were those things that you've done in life? What are those things that you imagine doing? When you're working with people, what were those things that you worked on? When you visited different places, what was it that really lit you up and made you feel alive? Start to write down, what gave me a sense of meaning and purpose? What are those things that I'm leaning into and helping or working on? When it comes to the next one, number 4, about value, when you show up in all these experiences, what is the value that you bring to that situation? What is the value that you bring to people? And I often ask people, what's the value that I'm bringing here? And they may reflect it back. So ask your friends, ask family, ask your colleagues, like, what is the value that I bring to this job? What is the value that I bring to this relationship? What is the value that I bring when you meet me and see me? It's great to hear some of that feedback. You don't have to do it, but if you want to, it's a great way to see how people see you too. And you can write those themes down. But this is the value that you feel that you bring to situations. And then the 5th one over here is about the differentiator. What makes you different? What makes you unique? A lot of us do the same things, but there's something special about the way that you do it, the way that you show up. I'll just give you an example of this. I'm from South Africa, so my accent is South African. That's a differentiator for me. No matter where I go in the world, people always ask me, where are you from? What's that accent? And that in some way has helped shape who I am and how people perceive me and perceive the information that I get to share, or when I get to speak or facilitate workshops. It makes a difference because it sounds different, and that's a slight differentiator that I have. Now, there's many more in life. What are your differentiators? What do you think makes you different and unique? What is that thing that only you can do? And the way that you show up, the energy that you bring, the humor that you bring. Any of those kinds of things is what you would like to write down in the differentiator. So much like on the first canvas, what you'll notice here across these 3 blocks is some themes and patterns will begin to emerge. So in number 6 and in number 7, start to write down the keywords that really resonate with you. If you find yourself repeating certain words, if you find that across these 3 things, there's kinds of themes that are popping up, start filling those in the keywords section in 6 and in the themes section in 7. What that helps you to do is that's a narrowing of the process, a filtering of the process, because it's starting to help you to start identify things that are really driving you, that are exciting for you. I hold the framing in my mind. I say, all right, I have a rocket ship and it's flying to another planet and it's only got 5 seats. What 5 things would I want to take with me as I go and visit this next planet? I always find that moving from step 7 to step 8, that's a really helpful sort of analogy for me, because I want to bring everything with me. But in order to kind of synthesize things, ask yourself, if you've got 3 seats or 5 seats, on a rocket ship heading off to your future, what are the 5 key things that you would want to bring with you? Once you've established what those are, then start to look at them and start to ask yourself, if I was going to write this into a sentence to share to someone else, or a statement, my purpose is to ... and then start riffing with those selections that you have, you'll start to see that something starts to crystallize. And that is a very, very powerful process for you to be able to start to bring some meaning and connection inside. And if it really excites you, fantastic, we're on the path. If it feels a little scary, fantastic, we're on the path. Purposes are often big. They're not sort of immediate next steps that we just do tomorrow and then it's done. It could be one of those things that it's like a life's work. It's something that we want to pursue for the rest of our life. It feeds us, it fuels us. So have some fun with this process. We'd be so inspired to hear what some of your statements are, what resonates for you, and what your calling is. Because there's a purpose inside of each of us waiting to be discovered and unlocked, to put onto paper, and for you to start actioning through that purpose to bring your unique gifts, your purpose, your values, your differentiators, you and your special uniqueness to the world. And I know the world needs you. Somebody out there is looking for what you have. Somebody out there is looking for the purpose that you're going to discover, and you're going to start changing lives. Whether it's on your small community, in your family, or you want to go big all around the world is waiting for you to discover this and start to bring it to life. So we wish you great success with this. Please do stay in touch. Let us know. We want to ring the bell of courage for you for taking on this process. And we want to honor and celebrate you for leaning into this process, because it is life-changing. So, my friends, together, let's courage the future and enjoy.